Morning, everybody. Welcome to LOCPod. We're Indiana's most dangerous podcast. We're popular in Belgium and becoming more popular in Vietnam.
Or wherever Dr. Mike is.
Downloading.
Assuming he's actually downloading it and not just showing us his ear.
He wants to come back on today, I heard. So
maybe he's got a. Maybe he can wear AirPods today.
Yeah.
I wake up to a text from Mike saying, "Get ready for another call-in."
Yeah, right.
He's like our foreign correspondent.
Yeah, right.
Wow, we should definitely just like have him call in from somewhere else in the world every episode.
Yeah, he would do that.
That'd
He's
be
retired,
sick.
so he travels a lot.
You just keep going. Where are you today? Myanmar.
Today's a big day in the stock market. There's a lot of stuff going on. I was going to help illuminate your path.
Ooh.
Because, I mean, there's crazy stuff going on right now. You guys, Lindsay, John, you guys been paying attention to the economy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm a sponge.
It's my favorite topic to discuss.
That's sarcasm. I noted that's sarcasm.
Oh.
But
Not
John,
me, though.
like with the bank failures and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know I read something that was the second and third largest bank failures in U.S. history?
Yeah. But, I mean, it makes sense because with inflation and everything, you know. But it's a big deal what's going on. Silicon Valley Bank failing over the weekend. Another bank, Signature Bank, failing shortly thereafter. And then the FDIC and the Federal Reserve getting involved to prevent a run on the banking system. That's stuff you don't see every day, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, well, here's a question. Do you think it was like that there was going to be a run on the bank and therefore they stopped it? I'm talking about Silicon Valley. Like, I read something late last night after we met that was like, oh, well, you know, there was a $2 billion loss. They had a $2 billion loss and everyone freaked and started taking their money out.
Right.
And that's what made the bank fail.
Right.
Yeah,
Because banks don't have that much. They don't have 100% of our deposits on hand.
No.
So if we go and if everybody goes in and tries to take out their money, they don't have it on hand. They have to go to the Federal Reserve for that.
That's right.
So like when they take huge loss on securities like they did because of the interest rate environment that we're in, I mean, that's devastating for a bank. They don't have the capital to make up that kind of loss. And, you know, and then if everybody starts pulling their money, it becomes a run on the bank and then you go out of business.
And then it makes the federal. I'm sorry, Linz.
Isn't that what happened in It's a Wonderful Life?
There almost was a run on the bank.
There was a lot
of
they avoided it.
Right, everyone came and
With
brought
his
their
wedding
deposits
money.
back. That's right.
Back in the old days before the Federal Reserve, there was a lot of bank failures, and now we have FDIC insurance. And what happened in this case is I think the Biden administration did exactly what they're supposed to do in a situation like this, and I want to congratulate them. And I'm not always Mr. Positive on that, but what happened in this case, guys, the long and the short of it is, so if you were an investor in Silicon Valley Bank, a stockholder, they had stock that's worthless now. They lost all their money. If you're a bondholder and you loaned money to Silicon Valley Bank, which is an investment and, you know, it's risky, you lost all your money. The only people that got, quote unquote, bailed out, by the way, if you're an executive, you lost your job. You know, like,
Yeah.
the only people that got bailed out on this, and arguably, we can get into details in a second, is the people that put their money in Silicon Valley Bank innocently. Just I wanted to open a checking
A
account.
depositor.
So I put $5,000 in it. You get your money back.
How about the people $5 million in?
How about the people that put $5 million in? They get their money back, and that was somewhat controversial that the Biden administration made that decision to ensure everybody's deposit above $250,000. They didn't have to do that. Technically, if you have $1 million in a bank, the safest way to do that is to split it up between 4 banks, and then you're 100% insured. If you keep $1 million in one bank, you're insured up to $250,000. Everything else is a risk.
Although there are a lot of businesses, I mean, in municipalities and you name it, that have to keep more than $250,000 in a bank account at one time. And so that's why I think, and we've all seen this. You know, I always hear about FDIC insurance. What apparently they, the Federal Reserve, Department of Treasury. Called it was a similar systemic risk exception, which allowed depositors to be paid in full.
Well, in this bank in particular, so out of the 100% of all deposits in Silicon Valley Bank, 97% of them were over $250,000.
Yeah.
Dude.
97%.
I'm glad you said that because I'm like, what? I read that. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Think about that.
It's all startups. It's all like tech companies. And they have far more than $250,000. It's their entire business
This wasn't Johnny's
checking
Christmas
account.
Club.
Right. It's like their
account.
business checking account. And if it's frozen for months, which it would be while we're litigating whether or not the FDIC is going to insure them, their businesses fail.
Yeah.
So something needed to be done over the weekend to prevent a catastrophic failure of our
banking system, or at least a run on other banks, right?
Not just that, just the whole tech ecosystem.
Yep.
Like all the liquidity dries up suddenly because of one bank's failure.
And then there was a different bank, Signature Bank in New York, that failed as well, and that started people freaking out. And that's when I was referring to earlier that they declared a similar systemic risk exception for the New York-based Signature Bank, which allowed their depositors to also be covered in full. Which I think, at the end of the day, if banks are, and this is an important point, and I think President Biden and I think the Treasury Secretary also pointed this out. This is not a dollar lost by taxpayers around the country. This is the FDIC insurance program is put into by banks around the country for just this purpose, to make sure depositors are insured and to make sure that we have faith as a consumer in the banking system. Because if the banking system starts to fail, you might have a huge, you could have a large economic disaster on your hands. So using that $100 billion or part of that $100 billion that they have saved up, I think was a great move.
So you have all this stuff going on with banks. Obviously, the interest rates have been rising a lot, which is part of the reason the banks are struggling right now, because when interest rates rise, the bank's securities, which are bonds, they drop in value. And interest rates have gone up exponentially, which means that all these bonds that the banks own are worthless, basically. And when they sell them, they take huge losses. And
another thing that banks make money on is when they can make loans and they earn interest, right? But the problem is when interest rates go up, sometimes businesses, and this is kind of like, again, counterintuitive, but businesses contract, right? They're not going to necessarily take loans out because interest rates are higher. They're going to wait and see what happens, which means banks aren't making loans, which means they're not making as much interest or interest on those loans. And that's all because the Fed wants to slow the economy down.
So two sources of income for banks. Loans, and those are drying up, as Kevin indicated, because of higher interest rates. So that source of revenue for banks is dried up. And then the sale of securities, but their securities are worthless now because they bought these bonds a long time ago, and they've lost 40-50% of their value. This isn't the only two banks that are in trouble.
And Tom,
there's a majority. There was I forgot what the stat was I recently read, but there's like $600 billion of unsold securities out there that banks are going to have to sell at a loss.
Was Silicon Valley Bank heavily into the bond market as well because that was one of the reasons they failed?
The securities they held were bonds. So
yeah. Okay.
Anyway, all right. So
what else?
We have that going on in the background, and then you have CPI come out, which is the reason interest rates have been going up. Is CPI is Consumer Price Index, which is inflation. This is what you hear about, and they had a number come out this morning, right as the show started, and it was a really important number to determine what's going to happen in the stock market today, and it came out a little hot, 0.5%. It was supposed to be at 0.4%, which was still hot. It came out at 0.5%, which is not good news.
So let's explain what
high
that
inflation means high interest rates, means the economy is going to slow even more.
Yeah, and so what Tom was just talking about, 0.5 versus 0.4, what that means is month-to-month change in this basket of goods that the Department of Labor uses for the Consumer Price Index, right? It's like all these different things from rental housing to transportation to the price of food, and they put all this together and they say, what did it look like last month? And what did it look like this month? And what Tom just described was it went up 0.5%. So whatever that basket of goods cost you last month,
0.5% times 12 is 6%.
Right. So between last month and this month, it went up 0.5%.
Right.
That same basket of goods,
which is too hot.
Yeah,
annual inflation is supposed to be more like 2 to 3%.
Agreed.
It's twice that right now.
The average over the last 20 years was 2.3%.
Right, and it's twice that right now. It's averaging 6, that means that the Fed, and that's not good for anybody listening to this show, because let's say you're a senior citizen, you're not earning income anymore, your assets are everything you got, and if inflation goes up, you're basically losing the value of your assets. You're losing the value of your bank accounts. You're getting poorer without doing anything. That's why it's the top job of the Federal Reserve is to get rid of inflation by any means possible. And what that means is they're going to keep raising interest rates until something breaks. And something broke over the weekend. 2 banks failed, but this is just the beginning, guys.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the Fed does at the end of the month, or is it middle of next month?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, Tom. So I just saw this tweet of yours. Drip, drip, drip. Beware, the ice is getting thin. Can you elaborate? Like, where do you think this is heading?
I made a decision on
Where'd
this
you get
show.
that from? Is that just right out of your brain?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
It was ominous and scary.
Can we hear you read it?
That was all over the weekend when another bank bites the dust, wiping out the assets of the bank's bond and stockholders. Thankfully, the FDIC is insuring all individual deposits First it's Silicon Valley Bank, now Signature Bank. Drip, drip, drip. Beware, the ice is getting thin.
Oh, I love that.
That goes back to
great.
Dad
Final
was like
tagline.
sitting on his front porch, like watching some
I just
ice
picture
melt.
him.
He's
Yeah,
like,
I just picture him sitting and like coming up with that over the weekend.
So this goes back to something I did earlier in season 8 when I made this prediction that the S&P 500 will hit 3,600 one more time. That was at 4,200 when this call was made. The S&P 500 is 3,900 right now. Right, so I'm halfway there.
So let's talk about, speaking of predictions,
what?
Let's talk about predictions and some videos we've got here. About,
good call.
Right? These are hilarious, by the way.
Good predictions. Good predictions.
Do we have the bank?
It's the Simpsons, right?
Yeah, this is great.
How the Simpsons predicts crazy shit.
They predict it all the time.
This is crazy. John, what's the first one we got here?
This is the closure of Toys R Us, but if you want it, since we're on the bank,
the bank one's great.
Lead up to that,
Sure. Look at that.
Look at this.
So before you even push play,
yeah,
Silicon Valley Bank, Simpsons.
There's a bank that they have called in The Simpsons Silicon Valley Bank, and this is from what I thought I read like 2016 or something, or 2012.
Yeah.
No.
So Silicon Valley Bank in this Simpsons skit. It's quick. So listen.
What do you mean the bank is out of money? Insolvent? You only have enough cash for the next 3 customers.
So there's a run on the bank.
Accurately predicted Silicon Valley Bank would have a run on the bank. I mean, that's crazy crap.
A run on Silicon Valley Bank. That's crazy.
A run on Silicon Valley Bank.
I mean,
freaking weird.
I saw somebody on the internet talking about how the Simpsons always seem to predict these things, and I think it's because it's a combination of having really intelligent writers for the show,
without a doubt,
but also just the fact that anything can happen in this weird, crazy world that we live in. So they could literally
and they've done
anything.
so much.
Yeah.
They've done so much over like 20 or 30 years or
episodes, and honestly, you could probably find something.
What else, John?
This one's crazy.
Oh, this is great.
This is 10 years before Donald Trump's presidency.
The accuracy of the frame too is
so. This is
bizarre.
Trump going down the stairs
with Homer
Simpson behind him,
and then Trump going down the stairs when he announced his presidential bid on the escalator.
Look at that! What the hell?
Do you think he followed the Simpsons? That was 15 years before he became president. The Simpsons predicted Trump would be going down an escalator.
And someone dropping a sign.
How about that? That's on purpose.
Crazy.
In 2015, they did that on purpose, right?
Come on.
Like
the guy dropped the sign?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Drop a sign. When he goes down the...
It looks exactly the same.
It's
exactly,
crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, what else?
What
They
else,
predicted... what is this one?
What's the,
Toys R Us?
Toys R Us.
The Toys R Us bankruptcy?
Closure. Yeah, let's see here.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's kill every child... friendly thing in town!
They just go out and destroy things.
Childish things
and become a man.
Oh, we're gonna get off. John, better pause it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
Fade away.
there they go.
Toys R Us destroyed it.
Toys R Us destroyed. Yeah. So
Siegfried and Roy.
Oh yeah, that's another good one.
Yeah. This one.
Yeah, forward ahead, John, about halfway. The tiger. So the tiger of Siegfried and Roy is in the jungle. And he remembers getting shot in the ass by a what are those called?
Tranquilizers.
Tranquilizers, thank you.
All right. So the Simpsons is an accurate predictor of what's going to happen in America's future.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Just like you're an accurate... Well, we're going to see if you're an accurate predictor.
If there's a show that's going to predict how things are going to work out, I guess The Simpsons are a pretty good choice.
Agree. All right. Well, we have got a pretty good show today. Not even pretty good. We got a great show today, including... we're going to talk about how Marjorie Taylor Greene reacted to John. We're going to talk about a crazy lawsuit with Buffalo Wild Wings that Tom's very concerned about because he's a wing eater.
That's right.
And also talk about Tesla and Elon Musk, which is really exciting. And we're going to have on one of our sponsors, John Rogers later from Rogers Roofing. So
Awesome.
let's do some ads and come on back.
All right. Powering America. Are you looking for a new career in 2023? If you're a person who enjoys working with your hands in a challenging and ever-changing environment, an electrical apprenticeship might be for you. Earn a competitive wage while you gain valuable experience. Did we mention employer-paid benefits, including health insurance, pension, and annuity? If so, visit apply697.com. That's APPLY697.com. POW! Sponsoring by Powering America.
All right, Printing. Misprint specializes in delivering the highest quality signs and printing on time and under budget. Misprint's experience and technology allows them to offer custom, commercial, on-demand printing and sign solutions. Wow.
That actually scared me.
That's good.
I was reading my notes.
Rick Balzenberger and his team have served Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana for over 30 years, and they have 2 convenient locations to serve you in Munster and Hammond, both on Calumet Avenue.
Byway Brewing is a family-friendly microbrewery with a spacious tap room and outside patio. Their brewing equipment offers a unique backdrop for your private event like weddings, reunions, or corporate parties. They're conveniently located just off of 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Come on by and enjoy Byway's award-winning beers and unbeatable menu. For more information, check out bywaybrewing.beer.
Ron J. Preston Insurance Agency has been located for decades right on Indianapolis Boulevard, serving all of your insurance needs. They specialize in a wide variety of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, life, and much more. The Preston Agency serves over 1,000 people and businesses in all Chicagoland and the Midwest. Call Ron, Ronnie, or Michael at 219-844-0103.
Cantrell and Cantrell, attorneys at law. Are you injured or in trouble with the law? Give us a call and schedule your consultation today with someone who is in court and at the jail every day. Call John Cantrell at 219-554-4LAW or visit their website at bettercallcantrell.com. John and his wife Kristen make a great team and are waiting to hear from you.
Okay. You know, we're all about funny lawsuits on this show, and we got one, and we're going to talk about it.
I think we're all about you and your kind of favorite restaurants.
Yeah, this does fit in, right?
You've talked about B-dubs a lot.
They've been on my shit list a couple times.
But they've been off, too.
But they're good. It's good food, but it's annoyingly expensive to me. And it's really usually shitty service accompanying annoyingly expensive food.
I like going to the Buffalo Wild Wings locally because they have really good TVs and they're really good during sporting events.
But it's expensive and the service sucks, right?
Yeah, I mean... I don't know.
John?
I haven't had terrible service.
Tom, you couldn't have said it better.
Yeah,
it's definitely expensive.
You get that bill from B-Dubs and you're like, what did I just buy?
Dude, yeah. I know. You'll go, if you get a beer, wings, French fries times 4, you walk out of there
$80,
$90.
Yeah, I think that is a little pricey, but I don't think I've had terrible service.
I have.
Yeah, at B-Dubs.
I'm not like an elitist either. I'm like very just give me average service and I'm a happy person, right?
Yep. You're not a this is cold, I'm sending it back person. No, me neither.
I've done that once within the last year, and it was really bad. I mean, it was like unedible, basically.
All right.
But I don't send stuff back.
No, me neither.
Yeah. But anyway, so BW3s is being sued in a class action lawsuit for deceptive marketing, which is, that's pretty crazy stuff. Sued by a customer who claims that the boneless wings are not chicken wings with the bones removed, but rather slices of chicken breast meat breaded and fried, which is cheaper.
Yeah, and I guess when I first read the headline, I was like, oh, they're going to accuse them of using I don't know, concocted meat, fake meat.
No,
I thought this was well known.
That they use chicken breast meat instead of...
Yeah, it's leaner. It's better for you. It is also breaded.
I didn't know it.
But...
What were they implying? Like you're supposed to be picking the meat off the bones of a wing and putting it into a bucket?
Is that?
This is false advertising.
Who's doing that?
According to the plaintiff, this is false advertising that it's boneless chicken wings, and points out that it's actually more profitable for BW3s to advertise it this way. A class action lawsuit's been filed that claims that BW3 goes out of its way to market its boneless wings as true wings, unlike other restaurant chains who use careful language to describe their boneless wings.
I mean, maybe I'm not a wing aficionado, but I think that I guess I never even thought about it.
You would have to call it tenders, chicken tenders.
I guess. I mean, John,
that means chicken tender means.
Did you assume that it was wing meat?
No, I would prefer breast meat. Personally,
I'm
not a wing fan.
I love wings.
I'm not a wing fan.
Are you offended?
If you get boneless, I feel like it's the general understanding that you're getting chicken breast.
Boneless.
Just get.
Yeah, who eats boneless?
Me.
Agree.
I think kids
Patrick,
do.
Kids do.
I eat them too. I like them.
Patrick and John.
I mean, are you offended that they're not using wing meat?
Not at
The
all.
boneless
I'm not going to
wings.
file a class action lawsuit.
No, that's so nuts, dude. This is the problem with America, man.
Oh boy, I'm interested to see the attorney that they got to take this. But I mean, on the upside, they said the class could be anybody that has a receipt of boneless wings in the last who never knows how many years. And my thought was, what are they going to get? Maybe they'll get a coupon for a free set of boneless wings that they're going to keep on the menu.
The plaintiff argues this allows BW3s to charge more money for boneless wings because slicing chicken breast meat, which customers might believe is much easier.
Wow. Like they need a
because
disclaimer?
of the perceived labor and obtained by removing bones from chicken wings.
Okay, who is this? Okay, Amin Halim.
Right.
That's the guy who filed this lawsuit?
Amen.
Amen, Halim.
Amen, Halim.
The plaintiff is seeking unspecified damages from BW3s and hoping to see the chain change its product description to chicken tenders or chicken nuggets. So far, BW3s has not responded publicly to the lawsuit.
Oh, it's in Chicago, man.
And my favorite thing is that they
me.
still have them available. So they haven't, Buffalo Wild Wings is not like reacted by taking off the boneless wings from the menu.
If I get into this class action lawsuit, I'm going to amend the complaint so that we can get hot barbecue back.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah. If I'm in.
Hot
so if he wants me in, I'm in. But we're going to have to amend our complaint.
Maybe you can opt out of the class and have a separate
I didn't know
claim.
you could do this stuff. This is awesome.
You could opt out and say, in addition, I'd like to file a second count, which is you got rid of hot barbecue.
Yep. The plaintiff says, this is a clear-cut case of false advertising. It should not be permitted, as consumers should be able to rely on the plain meaning of a product's name and receive what they are promised, the lawsuit reads. It should be noted that Domino's Pizza and Papa John's also sell actual chicken wings, and that a restaurant named Buffalo Wild Wings should be just as careful, if not more, in how it names its products.
I don't know. I have a friend who's very passionate about chicken wings, and honestly, I'm not surprised that somebody like this has
maybe he'll join the class.
You know, no, my friend Corin, he's passionate about chicken wings. That's all I can say. But I don't think he likes.
So he wouldn't eat the boneless then in the first place.
He would. Yeah, he does not.
Right.
It's bone in only.
I feel like, John, you and I should just go to Buffalo Wild Wings and get some boneless wings today.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
for lunch.
I'll go.
Just let's go and
chicken
chow
tenders.
them down.
Ask for chicken tenders.
And see what
They'll
they
give
say.
you chicken fingers.
I think they've got chicken tenders on them.
If they say no, we only have chicken wings, then you got them. You can give this to the plaintiff.
Record the interaction.
I got these guys.
Should this be a vlog, a LOCPod vlog?
Tom joins the class, the Buffalo Wild Wings class action.
I would like
demands hot barbecue.
I would like boneless hot barbecue. No and no.
And I want that to be wing meat.
Screwed.
Is that wing meat in those boneless wings?
Right? Yes, it is, sir.
Do you have hot barbecue?
Doesn't the person who files a class action stand to make more than everyone else?
Yes, the class representative generally will make a larger settlement.
But it's not a windfall. I mean, isn't the idea of this isn't to make money.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's
for the lawyers. It is.
Class action lawyers make a ton of money.
Probably why somebody took it.
There you go. They're like, maybe we will make them give out a bunch of coupons, and I'll make $1 million fee.
Who's the lawyer? I'd like to do some research on.
Is his name Amen as well?
I don't know, but they're from Chicago, so maybe we know them.
Amen Halim, represented by Steve Sursick.
Oh.
What? No.
Oh my God.
I don't know if you guys can.
Hey, okay, so why don't we grab
the reason we just said
John Rogers, and then
he's not here
we'll
yet.
Go ahead.
He's going to be here after the. Oh my God.
Keep talking, guys.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and do the ads. Tortillas Nuevo Leon is the gold standard in Mexican cuisine throughout the Midwest. Look for Tortillas Nuevo Leon's popular red and white label at your local grocery store to enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise.
Yes.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia, de todo corazón.
Tri Electronics wants to be your complete communications provider. Tri Electronics has been a leader in this industry for more than 55 years. They're dedicated to assisting their clients with their systems integration needs. Tri Electronics has the expertise and experience to provide superior results for a wide variety of projects. For more information, call Tri Electronics today at 800-722-6793.
All right, Calumet Brewing. It's time to experience Michelob Ultra. With only 95 calories, 2.6 carbs, and 4.2 alcohol by volume, it is the perfect way to keep your New Year's resolutions in check. Whether you're a pro athlete or just an employee Olympics participant, the journey is only worth it if you enjoy it. That's why Michelob Ultra brews a light lager that's worth every single sip. So no matter if you're kicking back after a workout or enjoying a day out on the slopes, you're sure to enjoy a great beer. Head over to Cal Brew or Michelob Ultra websites and social media pages for details on this great family of beers. Enjoy the Ultra lifestyles with beers and cheers responsibly.
Chris Jones at Properties. Looking to buy your dream home? Chris Jones with That Properties can help. All across Northwest Indiana, it's a great time to buy with properties available in all price ranges. And if you're considering a sale, Chris Jones will get your house sold for top dollar. He sold some of the most expensive homes in Hammond and Munster last year. Contact Chris Jones at atproperties.com for a market analysis or to discuss the home qualities you're looking for. That's Chris Jones at atproperties.com.
All right, thank you to our sponsors. And we're going to, in a couple minutes, we're going to have John Rogers on from Rogers Roofing. But before that, we've got our LOCPod's foreign correspondent, formerly known as Dr. Michael Forright, calling in from somewhere abroad.
Formerly.
Hugh.
Hey, the most important part of our foreign correspondent is having a good Wi-Fi signal, Dr. Mike.
Yeah, and you're stuck on a frame. This is the last frame we have of
no
Forright.
bullshit about that.
There are people on do
you guys got me anywhere?
better Wi-Fi.
Yes.
We can hear you on audio, Mike.
We can hear you on audio.
Oh, you got me on audio? Can you hear me? That's fine. Listen, it'll come in and out. You can't see any of this beautiful picture?
No.
Where are you?
I'm at the Citadel in Hue. I'm at the Citadel, which is the Imperial Fortress.
What's the
which
weather
we
like
fought
there?
over it on 10. But it was here since 18. Oh, it's really nice.
Hey,
it's like probably
Mike.
69, which is
really
my favorite temperature.
Nice.
My favorite temperature.
Hey, when do you come home, man?
Dad misses you.
A week or so.
Did you know
I missed him too.
So this is a perfect.
I'm glad I hooked up.
Your quote you gave us from
What's
Ho
that?
Chi Minh last week was actually a Stalin quote. Just I wanted you to know that. We looked it up
was Lenin.
afterwards.
Lenin.
It was Lenin?
Lenin.
Listen,
Okay.
why are you fact-checking me like that? I thought we were friends.
We're the bastion of truth, man.
Don't be freaking.
We have a
fuck is that?
reputation.
Don't be quoting communists on our
Chi-
show.
Listen, then you get on Ho Chi Minh's ass for stealing it. I just quoted his ass.
You don't quote
Okay.
communists on LOCPod,
You're
dude.
busting- Why are you busting Ho Chi Minh? Listen, of all of us, I'm the one who went to go over there and represent against Pootie Tootie.
That's true.
That's true.
You know,
You did get an award from
I
the
didn't
United
talk this way.
Nations.
Hey, by the way, I wanted to mention to the
It wasn't
LOCPod
the
crowd
UN.
there was an update, and that is that Dr. Mike did actually make contact with Woody Harrelson and Michael McConaughey after the show.
I saw that.
Did you recommend our podcast to
Matt
them?
Mahogany.
Here he goes.
Didn't he come back out for the
Listen,
for the Oscars?
they do their own thing. They do their own thing.
Yeah.
They do.
I wonder why.
I'll tell you this, because they can.
What are you doing? Are you like hiking
I
someplace?
just hear like
taking a
cinders
walk.
like,
under
seriously, this is the worst interview ever.
cinders
You don't see any of
underfoot.
this? Do you see any of this?
Nothing.
No, I see
Nothing.
your
Do you see any of
picture.
this at all?
No, it's a still
Oh
frame.
my God! How do I do it, Johnny? Let me see what I can do here.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me see what I
You're
can
the
do. It says
worst.
camera.
Think about this.
Man,
This
turn
is-
this shit back on now.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
doesn't
Turn the
matter.
camera back on.
We're
Here we
like,
go.
yeah. Most people listen to our show. I don't know if you're aware of that, Dr. Mike.
Yes, even if we don't
I know
have
it's
video.
so
Oh,
really cool.
Oh,
Oh.
look at you. Yeah, it was like 5
the
minutes. We
middle
were
of
just
the
looking
night
at a
out
single
there.
frame. You look good. Where are you?
I'm at the Citadel,
He's already said that.
It's a
right
field.
near the Imperial Palace. This is see that behind
it's
me?
like Grant Park.
Oh, there it is.
I'm not going to hold it next to my face like I did the last
Thank
time.
you.
Good.
Okay, and look at this.
Whoa.
That's the flag staff. We fought. We put up our flag
Okay.
there after the Tet, and we'd stayed there for about 5 days. Marines did it, and then we took it down in respect for ARVN, which is the Army of the Republic of Vietnam. We took it down and put up theirs, the South Vietnamese.
right.
But this is back up. These are nice people, communists, yes, but lovely
Nice.
people. You know,
Even communists.
I got to tell you.
Well, hey, Dr. Mike, we got John Rogers coming into the studio. We want to interview him, but it's great.
Listen, call me back when you got
Okay.
time. Okay?
Sure.
I got nothing.
You
but time
guys
now.
miss us, don't you?
Okay.
You-
Listen, I totally miss you guys. I'm available. I may be casting on my own. I'll break off of that, and I'll talk with you guys because you're that important. Dean Phillips was there. I met Dean with the group the other night, the guy from Minnesota.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if you know that kid.
No.
Yeah, he was there. Yeah, he was happy.
There's his ear.
And another guy.
Back to his ear.
All right, Dr. Mike. Well, great. Thanks for checking in. Don't forget to download lots of LOCPod episodes in Vietnam. And
tell all your friends, including Dean Phillips. Tell them to download us.
You guys, I got a lot of good stuff. You guys should check in when you guys get a moment. Either of you.
Just wait for our phone call. We'll be calling in just a second, okay?
Oh, listen, I'm going to the koi. Look at this thing, a giant.
All right, John. See you, Dr. Mike.
Don't drown. Don't drown.
Just hold on. We'll be calling right now.
I think the irony there is, or maybe I don't know if irony is the right word, but the fact that he once again focused in on his ear, even though he had AirPods in, or some sort of like ear.
He's getting better, though. It was definitely better in the first interview.
Well, the first 4 minutes we had no video.
No, we looked at his ear canal the whole time.
So and I'm talking this time.
Well,
we had no video.
Right. It was single frame, but we actually got to look at something that time. Look at John Rogers coming in here. What's going on, man?
Look at this guy.
Man. Here he is, handsome,
another good-looking young fella.
What's up, bud? Nice to see you, John.
In the house.
Nice to see you, sir.
Come on in.
What's
have
up,
a seat.
John?
Kevin, good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Nice.
Get up to that microphone.
You met Lindsay and John Vesmer.
Hey,
why don't you throw those headphones on, John?
The headphones on and that microphone's wow, that's right.
Yeah.
Very,
he's a professional.
And you can move that mic, just move it around right up to your mouth. Get it up. See, there you go.
Get all up in
Yeah, man. Look at you. Look at you. How's business going?
Business is great, guys. It's that time of year.
It is that time of year.
Spring is coming. I know.
That's interesting,
right?
Let me ask you, what do roofers do over the winter?
We work. There's still people that have roofing problems. We got to get out there and
leaky
solve
roofs.
Them.
Yeah. Do you do like internal work too in the house, or
no? You don't want us doing internal work.
Yeah.
We don't want you in our house.
Really you would be better at it than I would.
We smell bad. You don't want us in your house.
Right. Outside of the house, we're really good at.
Yeah. So what? Just like siding,
roofing, gutters, and this time of year, get a lot of rain. We get a lot of snow. We got ice dams and people.
Ice dams.
Yeah, you know that
term.
See these
things that. I mean, I've heard it, but I don't know what it is. I've never seen one.
Oh, I get those.
So have you guys known each other a long time, Kevin?
John and I, probably about 20 years.
Yeah,
really?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yes.
How'd you guys meet?
Just legal stuff and doing
I'm
some
not
stuff
supposed
for
to
the
ask
family.
that stuff.
I mean, he won, so I mean.
Okay, all right, very good. Then we could. Yeah, Kevin wants to talk about it then, but yeah, that's awesome.
Yes.
Kevin's a great lawyer, isn't he?
Kevin's terrific.
Hey,
He's
John.
a good lawyer and a better friend.
He is a good guy.
I appreciate that.
Yep. I wouldn't go so far on the friend thing, but really good lawyer. Yeah.
John, let me ask you, because I mean, this is something that I've always been curious about in the summer when I see guys on the roof, 95, 100 degrees. Hottest roof you've ever been on?
Ooh, that's a good question. It was probably a day. We had like a string of like 5 or 6 days. It was in the high 90s, mid and high 90s. And I remember by that Friday, right? I was done.
Dude, what time do you guys start?
When in the summertime we try to get up on a roof like by 7. The earlier the better.
Right.
If the customer will allow us.
Because the sun's up at 5:15.
Exactly. Yeah. So 6:30, 7 o'clock, and we try to get them when on a hot day. You have to get off the roof like by maybe 12, 1 o'clock. But the thing is, you have to take precautions during that time. You got to take breaks. You got to get in the shade. You got to know about heat exhaustion and how to treat that, and make sure guys are aware they're drinking plenty of fluids and all those things.
How many crews do you have?
12 probably.
Wow.
Yeah, between our.
So do you just bounce around like from site to site? That's your job?
My job is to kind of oversee everything.
I don't know if you knew this, but Mayor worked on Comiskey Park's roof.
I was going to say that.
Did you really?
The old Comiskey.
You're talking to a former roofer here.
Come on.
Dude, that was the worst job I ever had. No offense. I worked so hard. It was like I was like 16 because I was barely old enough to drive there.
Sure.
And they put us on the roof, and I thought it was the coolest job ever.
Oh, I bet.
You're working at Comiskey. I'm like, what am I going to do? You're going to tear off all the tar on the roof. And I'm like, all right. It was freaking 180 degrees up there. It was so hot.
Yep.
Like all summer, I was just pulling tar off the roof.
We always say that builds character.
Yeah, it does.
It does because you learned it. You don't want to do this the rest of your life.
Holy crap! It was so hard.
It's a hard job.
Speaking of rest of your, I mean, how many guys do you have that have been roofers for? I don't know. What's the longest guy you got on one of your crews?
We've got a couple guys that have been with us 30 years.
Oh,
is that how you started, John? You started?
Yeah, my dad. Yeah,
really?
My dad was.
So you learned it when you were a kid?
I learned when I was a kid. My dad was a Chicago fireman.
And that's awesome.
Yep. And my
mom
was a Chicago police officer, right? And it was a side gig for my dad. And so on his days off, he'd work 24 hours. He was off 48. Those 48 hours, him and my uncle and another fireman, Pete Saki, would go out and they would put roofs on firemen, policemen, house.
That's so smart.
Yeah.
With firemen, I always say that about the great thing, because police officers, that's their job, right? Mm-hmm. But firemen, they get paid almost as much as a police officer, and they all have side gigs.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was great. I was able to kind of learn a trade, and basically I was a laborer. I'd be on the ground. I'd tear off the roof, pick up all the crap on the ground, and throw it at the dumpster, hump bundles all day for them.
How old were you when you shifted over to the office where you are now?
Oh, I was probably in my early 30s.
Wow.
I would say
great.
mid 30s.
So you knew the business back and forth.
Yeah. I mean, when my dad had the business early in my career, we kind of ran everything out of our house. Mm-hmm. There was only 3 guys. We had 1 truck, and it was just kind of, like I said, a side job. And then when I got out of college, I thought to myself, well, I didn't have a job at the time. I said, well, maybe I'll just roof until I find a real job.
Mm-hmm. And here you are.
I was able to,
Look at you, man. I mean,
we got a warehouse up in Whiting. We rented that. That was our first big kind of thing, our big move. And then a couple of my friends.
Is that where all your trucks report to in the morning and everybody leaves?
Yep. Yeah. And at the time, I said we had 1 or 2 trucks, and I had a couple friends of mine that I conned them into coming to work for my dad. And I said, oh, come on, we'll have fun. We'll be on a roof. We'll get tanned. It'll be a good time.
Chicks are going to be digging us.
Yeah, like what? We get up on that roof, like, what are you talking about, man? This sucks. So we.
So you guys don't lay out on the roof?
No. But we had a lot of fun on the roof. We would just, you have to try to have fun. You got to have a great mindset when you're up there. You just can't. It was kind of like us against the elements, and you just can't let the elements beat you. So, we would have a radio up there. We'd be singing. We'd be,
right?
Just having a good time. And then, those guys I'm referring to, Mike and John Reels, they've been with me for 30 years.
Wow. And you're in Hammond, right?
We are. Yeah, we're over in Hessville. Mm-hmm.
So what are you like grooming your kids to take over the business for you when you're
my oldest son works for me.
Nice.
He's one of our estimators. He's 29.
Nice.
Learning
the biz. Did it the same way, huh?
Learn the biz, yep. Mm-hmm.
Learns it from the bottom, and then when it eventually takes over, right?
Yeah, eventually.
That's the way it's supposed to work. That's awesome.
That's the way it's supposed to
work.
And
John, you're not just residential. You do commercial. You do flat roofs,
we do.
right?
Yep.
And it's not just shingles. You do whatever.
We do siding. We do windows. We do gutters. We do pretty much everything on the exterior of a house. We're just real proud of what we've accomplished over the last
2 customers right here, John and me.
That's right.
Done both our roofs.
My next roof, you guys got my next roof.
Okay, good. I look forward to it.
No, honestly, we wanted to thank you for being a sponsor for LOCPod, John. And we couldn't do this show without sponsors, and we wanted to go an extra, and bring in sponsors like yourself and say thank you in person, because I think we're doing a good thing here. I know we have a lot of people that listen, and we couldn't do it without Rogers Roofing.
Well, thank you. Listen, I'm proud to be part of this, and it's a great, to be part of this great community in Northwest Indiana. We do a lot of work here, and
so how do we get a hold of Rogers Roofing?
Well, you can go to our website at rogersroofing.com, or you can call us at 219-933-9145.
And then free estimations, all that?
Yep. Yeah, we got wonderful estimators. We got guys that know how to assess problems and take care of people, and more importantly, give our customers a great experience. That's what we're all about.
And great customer service. You guys are great. I'm not kidding. I just recently had a couple of my shingles fall off. You guys were out there, put them back on. So I appreciate that. Yeah. And by the way, you got some fans in chat, because John Bowditch, another former Chicago cop, said you were a good football player and you're his mom's favorite roofer. So
really?
There you go.
Well, I'm his mom's only roofer. So.
Let me guess your position. I'm going to say you strike me as a linebacker.
I was going to say linebacker. Yeah. I was the same.
You strike me as a linebacker.
You look like a linebacker.
Yep. I'm a proud Mount Carmel grad.
Whoa. Really?
Yep.
You played for Mount Carmel?
I did. Yeah, I was on their first state championship team in 1980.
For those of you that aren't aware, Mount Carmel is a huge program out of Chicago. It's a great football.
Like Donovan McNabb years or what?
Simeon Rice. No, actually, Donovan's younger than me. Right. I go back way before Donovan. But
we're about the same age, bud.
Yeah, 57 I am.
Oh, no way. You look great. Yeah. I'm 54.
Full head of hair. Look at you.
Kevin's only 53. Can you believe that guy?
Yeah, Mount Carmel's
I'm the youngest guy in the room and look like the oldest.
Yeah, you're not the youngest guy in the room. You're not the youngest guy.
With clients like
on the
these.
Table.
Yeah.
It's a great program at Mount Carmel. It's an all-boys Catholic school. It wasn't my first choice when I wanted to go to when I was going to choose a high school. I wanted to go to St. Francis de Sales, but I'm so thankful that my parents had wisdom enough to know that Mount Carmel was probably the place for me. I didn't want to go to an all-boys school.
Right.
I'm not going there.
Right.
But
did you end up playing after?
I'm sorry? No, I did not.
Yeah.
Nope.
Had to go rough, man.
I had to go put some roofs on. Had some knee.
That's awesome.
Had some knee issues during
my
high school career.
That's literally like playing college. It's like a college-like program.
Yeah, and I was fortunate enough to coach there for a few years, about 10, 12 years ago.
What'd you coach? Defense?
I've coached defense, yeah. Mm-hmm.
John, I want to thank
you. You ever coach locally? You ever think about
I haven't. You know what?
We have a good...
Between work and my kids, it's just hard to find the time.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in, John. Appreciate it, man. And by the way, thank you for the support of the show.
Of course.
We really appreciate it.
Yeah, LOCPod appreciate you. Left of center, get out there and support our sponsors, like Rogers Roofing. Go out there and say thank you to them if you like our show.
And make sure you tell them you were listening to LOCPod and that's why you wanted a new roof.
That's right.
That's why you went to Rogers
Even if you cancel it, just call up and say, LOCPod, we want a couple of roofs.
Well, we have a referral rewards program, so everybody just say, the mayor and Kevin Smith
that would
referred,
be great.
and we'll be sending you guys all kinds of gifts.
Thanks, John. John Rogers, Rogers Roofing. Again, 933-9145.
Correct.
I've read that thing off a couple times. So, yeah.
See you around. Thanks,
Thank
buddy.
you, gentlemen.
Thanks, John. Good to see you. That's Rogers Roofing, one of LOCPod sponsors from the very beginning.
Grab that.
Thanks,
I think
sir.
one of those green shirts is for John.
Oh, yeah. We got you.
Green shirt.
Look at
Take
that.
one of those. Take one of those.
Look at that.
Have one of those.
High quality.
Man.
Made in Indonesia. So.
Somewhere.
There we go.
All right, man.
Go, bud. Thanks.
Thank you.
Good to see you, bud. Thank you.
See you, John.
All right. So there we go. And we have a story we want to tell you about involving Teslas.
And Elon Musk has come in and out of this podcast. I mean, I think John's a fan. We've talked about him. We've talked about Twitter. But now this is something.
John, when I went to on my California trip, I straight up came back because I rented a Tesla, and I came back looking at Teslas. I'm going to buy a Tesla. It was such a cool experience driving that car. And then everything with Elon Musk started going left of center. Elon Musk buys Twitter. Elon Musk starts ignoring Tesla. Tesla stock drops like 50%. And now we got stuff like this. Tesla is under investigation for faulty steering wheels. This is in addition to the beta testing their driverless system.
Well, yeah, they're like having the consumers being the beta testers.
Yeah, we're basically the guinea pigs for Tesla. But
they even do that with medication.
That NHTSA, that's the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, announced on Wednesday that it's looking into reports of Tesla's steering wheels detaching on Model Y SUVs. Yeah, that's a problem when your freaking steering wheel falls in your lap and you're driving your car.
Hope you're on auto drive.
Then NHTSA said it had received 2 reports of 2023 Model Ys being delivered to customers with a key bolt missing. That key bolt happens to hold the wheel to the steering column. The steering wheel problem is in addition to problems crashing into emergency vehicles stopped on the highways while in self-driving mode. Safety advocates have long been clamoring for the federal government to step up its scrutiny of assisted driving technologies like Tesla's autopilot. After a mostly hands-off approach during the Trump administration, the Department of Transportation is being far more aggressive under President Biden on self-driving. So Tesla's got major problems, and I thought this was really funny. So we go through this whole article talking about how Tesla's struggling with self-driving, how Tesla's struggling with the steering wheel falling in people's laps when they're driving. Messages were left with Tesla, it says. They weren't returned to this reporter because Tesla's media department was recently eliminated. How convenient. I love that line.
I don't know if that's a good
you got a complaint? Call the media department.
Well, I mean, and this is interesting, right? Because I still think a lot of people, obviously Tesla's very popular. We know people that own them. They love them. Mm-hmm. And I am very interested to see how Tesla ends up after Elon Musk kind of shifted his focus away from SpaceX, away from Tesla, and into Twitter. Because it's also has an element of China involved here because China is where Tesla has a lot of its assets.
It's almost Tesla has 2 major factories. One's in China,
and he was called out by a guy that
they're building one in Texas, by the way.
Steve Bannon called out Elon Musk recently, and I thought this was really interesting because to me it seems like Elon Musk when he decided to buy Twitter, to me I felt like he was kind of trying to go to the right a little bit. He seemed to want to have people on that side of the aisle and far to the right want to like him. That's the way I thought he was going. And I thought Bannon it was like slap down on Elon on this show. And I pulled this video up. John, do you have this? This is about a minute long. This is really interesting, I thought.
Very interesting. Here we go.
Razor tweeted, "I think Twitter should buy SVB and become a digital bank." Elon Musk replied, "I'm open to the idea." Seems a bit silly. I don't know. What would you think about that?
I think until Elon Musk starts letting back on the true anti-CCP people that he keeps blocked off there, myself included, not that I want to go on there. Oh yeah, not he's owned by the Chinese Communist Party. What are you talking about? Tesla, his only thing of real value is Tesla. He uses it for margin loans. He sells the stock. The Shanghai joint venture is 100% controlled by the CCP. This is why he never goes after the CCP. This is why he always backs off. This is when they had the protest. They had the protest about the lockdowns of COVID. He will not do it. Elon Musk is a total and complete phony. He is in bed in a business partner. He's done some good stuff of letting stuff out, with Taibbi and others. It's fine. But he is owned, lock, stock, and barrel by the Chinese Communist Party.
Wow.
You know what gets me about that? Steve Bannon's in this room. There's like a chalkboard behind him. He's obviously on a podcast. Like, why wouldn't this guy come on LOCPod? It sort of pisses me off.
Well, I can tell you this: our audio.
That's not a news station.
Yeah, John, our audio is better, and we have better equipment.
Our studio is better. If that guy will go on that shitty little podcast, he'll come on LOCPod all day long.
Our studio is better than that.
It's 10 times better. We have better equipment.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Thank you, John.
So this podcast, Timcast, is huge.
Yeah.
And listen to the shit production.
It is terrible.
That's
the first thing that I thought about.
Timcast. It's this guy Tim, I think, and he just interviews these huge names. Gates was in there in that interview.
I saw Matt Gates was in there.
What is going? What is going on?
It's a crappy little studio.
Quit going on these podcasts that are trash production, man.
It was on.
Maybe they've won an
It's all right wing stuff, obviously, right?
No, Timcast. Well, some people.
If they got
say
Gates,
Timcast
they got
but
Steve Bannon.
But I mean, what an interesting thought. I mean, and it is interesting that Bannon's basically calling out Elon, saying, you go after everybody else on Twitter, but you don't go after the Chinese government.
The truth.
Well, why would he?
Totally
He's too afraid to.
It's just like you don't hear Apple criticizing China either because they're screwed also.
Quiet, man.
There's certain companies that are owned by the Chinese Communist Party, and Tesla is one of them. Apple's another one, by the way. Any tech company, they're not going to criticize China. Did you see what happened when Disney in China started getting crossways? Disney snapped into line too.
Yeah, they did.
They don't want
to have the NBA
because at the
NBA.
At the end of the day, I think a non-democratic government has a lot more ability to clamp down on you and shut your ass down than you can't do that. I mean, you could criticize the American government all you want. They're not going to go shut down your factories.
Right.
But in China, they will. And I thought this thing, by the way, this back and forth between Elon and Bannon kept going because Elon responded and basically said that Bannon was evil and not smart. And then Bannon just went after him. I mean, you could see this tweet here. Smart enough to turn you down to your face every time you came to the White House for a taxpayer bailout. Evil enough to call you out as a running dog for your paymasters in Beijing.
Oh, Jesus. A running dog for your paymasters.
Whoa. Isn't
that's great.
Yeah.
Why
love that
Steve
scene.
Bannon in jail? Didn't he get
pardon, John?
No. After the pardon, he got charged again.
Did he?
Yeah.
It's hard to keep up with these
Maybe
guys.
pending.
Yeah, it might be pending. Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a
look
home.
that up while you guys
lives
are
on a
talking.
boat somewhere. Doesn't have like a residence, right?
He permanently is in international waters.
Yeah, right. Lindsay just like comes in with the nugget.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
The one that
I'm full of little treasures here.
yeah, you are.
Yeah.
There it is.
We're in the swag.
There it is, right there.
Delayed.
Hey, John.
Hey.
It's obvious that MTG is listening to LOCPod, right?
Oh, John, bring this in.
Wow. So you got, if the audience remembers, 2-3 episodes ago, I begrudgingly, much to my chagrin, was like, I ended up on MTG's email list somehow. I didn't sign up for it. I suspect someone else sold her list that I was on, and I noticed in this email from MTG that there was no unsubscribe link, which is a big no-no in email marketing. So I'm not kidding.
Frowned upon in email marketing.
I mean, probably against FCC, against rules, right?
It's not even frowned upon. Yeah, there's laws against that. So I get an email from MTG like a few days later. I am not kidding. I'm going to pull this up right here. The very next email after that criticism on LOCPod, there's an unsubscribe link.
And kind of just describe it as the worst unsubscribe link I've ever seen.
Look at this. Down here.
You have to really go searching for it.
Unsubscribe.
That's all it says.
That's it.
Like usually there's like, if you wouldn't like to be part of our, if you would like not to be part of our.
It's like the link is hidden in like a long paragraph.
Yeah.
But here's the craziest part. Now this is just a screenshot. But in the email, when I click unsubscribe, nothing happens.
It doesn't go
I
anywhere.
think she's trolling LOCPod, man.
Wow. Maybe she'll come on and do one of her workouts right in here.
Well,
MTG.
It did. It was the last show. We brought this up, and then here we are. One email later, she fixed it.
Maybe next email, when you click the link, it'll actually go somewhere.
I mean, you might as well say it right now. Indiana's.
That we are Indiana's most dangerous podcast.
I mean,
and
it's obvious.
DC's,
they're listening.
We're up and coming.
They're listening. They know what's up. They're like, oh, shit. We're going to get FEC complaint.
We better get an unsubscribe link up there that goes nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you, MTG. Well, let's finish the show out with...
we'll give you an early day today, guys.
I've got a great video of Donald Trump dancing. We're going to throw that out at the end.
I love it. He's dancing.
He's dancing at his son's girlfriend's birthday party.
It's like, he is definitely the least cool person in the room.
It's cringeworthy, but he thinks
this is how Dad dances when you get a couple.
But like, I don't ever think I'm cool when I'm dancing. You could tell Donald Trump thinks he's cool when he's dancing.
So we're gonna end the
all
show
about
with
attitude.
Donald Trump dancing.
So thanks, Linz, for coming in today. It's good to see you, hon. Notorious LMP in the studio. Thanks, Jay Vez, another successful.
Thank you, Dr. Mike.
Skype from Vietnam,
and much better production than Timcast, by the way, John.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, John.
Yep.
Kevin Chandler, good to see you, sir.
Thank you.
Another successful show and coming to you from the Locomotive. LOCPod is out, and here we got Donald Trump dancing.